Listen, I got you, Geese, don't worry.
And Taylor. Welcome to a podcast about Pokemon and other things, Geese Peep.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
Geese. Welcome, Geese.
She got out the word thank before Taylor started talking. This is episode 136 of this podcast. We're going to discuss today Horizons episode 83. I know you've been waiting for more Horizons. Amethio, you kidding me, guys? Everybody loves Pokemon. Name one person who doesn't, Geese Peep. But before we even begin to discuss Pokemon in this podcast about Pokemon and other things, what other things have you brought to the table this week? Because I don't think you were here last week.
What haven't I done?
Well, we're gonna find out on this week's segment of Peeping In on Geese. What's peeping with you, Geese?
All right.
I don't even know where to start. Chronologically, maybe?
Yes.
You have to start by saying, I'll bet you're wondering how I got here. Or something.
I thought we already did that joke.
We did. Taylor wasn't on that episode, I think. Michael, how much did you talk about Vegas last week?
Taylor, how much did I talk about Las Vegas last week?
I'd say about 7.
7.
7.
It's about 7. I don't think it was that high.
Michael and I went to Vegas, I don't know, a number of months, years ago. Who's to say, really?
Who's to say?
Time is an illusion, and we're all right in the river of it. We celebrated Michael's birthday.
Happy birthday!
We saw... So, we were there at the exact same time and in the exact same hotel where the DICE conference was
The DICE
held.
Awards, which I didn't realize until I saw Sean Layden talking to Daniel Bloodworth. You know, the entire industry is just in the hotel I'm staying in, which is fun.
I immediately clocked it because I saw a lot of guys in their late 30s with beards wearing like Half-Life shirts. I was like,
Half-Life?
Half-Life, something's going on.
And it's DLC, dim.
We watched the circus.
Cirque du Soleil presentation O is what she is discussing in the Bellagio theater.
What was
It was good.
I was going to say, what was the theming of it?
It's water.
Oh, that's fun. I've never seen Cirque du Soleil.
Taylor, you'd love O. There's so much water, and they're diving and swimming, and the floor moves, and it's sick.
Oh.
They got an Elden Ring boss at the beginning of it for some reason.
Oh, that's super sick.
Yeah. There's a couple clowns, which Geese Pete maybe didn't like, but they're fine. Whatever.
You afraid of clowns, Geese?
I'm just not the biggest fan.
It's just that's a little overdone. Like, oh, I don't like clowns. Yeah, okay. What, do you not like pineapple on pizza too? That's so cool of you.
It's fine.
It's all right.
When we went out to dinner for Michael's birthday, we had to dress nicer because we went to a fancy restaurant, and the shoes I packed didn't quite fit, so I had to stuff toilet paper in my shoes, and they kept falling off.
Geese, how do you wind up with shoes that don't fit?
Taylor, I'll tell you. This grown woman you're listening to, only wears shoes that are hand-me-downs from her sister. So she's never had a pair of shoes in her life that actually fit her. So
Geese,
that's fine.
You can't just little orphan Annie your way through adulthood. Just buy yourself a pair of shoes.
I just did. I just yesterday or the day before bought myself some adult shoes.
I'd like a pair of adult shoes, please.
It's kind of funny you mentioned that because I remember as a little kid being in the clothes store, and I just said to myself, I was so scared. I thought, wait a minute, how do you buy clothes if you're buying clothes for the first time? Because you're going to be naked in the store.
Anyway, we had a great time. Oh, you talked about how you almost won hundreds of dollars on Sweden.
Yeah, against hockey.
Sweden v hockey. Classic rivalry.
Look, it was exciting to watch, and it was close. It was a close game. They won. Canada only won in overtime, so...
I just wish that Sweden had a better goalkeeper.
First of all, right when they went into overtime, I was like, Michael, it's over. They have McDavid. McDavid has the best overtime record. He is, and he did. He won the game, I think, maybe. I don't know. But I was like, it's over. It's still amazing we got that far, though. And it's okay because he got it all back betting on Chinese tennis players. So all in all, it was fine.
Everybody wins.
So this person's name is McDavid?
Yeah, he's a big, giant hockey man, Taylor.
He's on the Oilers.
The Edmonton Oilers.
And Mother just performed in Edmonton Oilers, the big, giant arena, Rogers Arena. And while they're doing their acoustic VIP performance for Keith, of Keith Squared fame, who does our podcast artwork, you got to see McDavid looming in the corner.
Okay, this has to be some kind of weird narrow view, or it's just overly influenced by American life. When I hear McDavid, I think you're making up a fake name for somebody that really likes McDonald's.
Ooh.
There's so many Scottish immigrants in Canada.
How dare you, Taylor, first of all.
I know.
Like, I have relatives who came from Scotland to Canada and then to the U.S.
Her name literally starts the same as McDavid.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So way to go, Taylor. Insensitive, maybe. Well,
that's all I hear.
Yeah.
Blame McDonald for my view of McDavid.
Dongles. Geese Peep, would you like to discuss vomiting in a vehicle?
Well, I was going to discuss about that after your story.
Is all I heard. Guys, this is a family podcast, so no swear words.
And no vomit.
Okay, Geese Peep, please go ahead.
No swear. What are you talking about?
I didn't hear what you said. All I heard was...
I said I was going to discuss that after your story.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, here. Okay, guys, buckle up and get ready. Okay.
We all know the famous quote associated with the term "buckle up" from Succession.
Yeah, buckle up, get ready.
We're coming back from Vegas. Our flight's delayed. Michael has to go to work. We're a little chaotic. We're like, oh, do I have to call off sick? Blah 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 blah. Finally,
and also important to note, bathroom on airplane. They're saying, guys, just sit in your seat. It's a short flight. Maybe it's bumpy out here. We're just don't use the bathroom in the flight, please.
Okay, so regardless, we land. Michael goes to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom. We go to baggage claim to wait for my bag.
This is after I'm drinking my Trenta cold brew and getting you some food to eat and more coffee from Chick-fil-A and waters.
You got all that at the airport?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, listen. So we're at the baggage claim. We're like, are we going to get the next flyaway bus? Like, what's going to happen? Regardless, we time it well. We get on the bus. Here's some little context for everyone. Michael is always holding his beverages. He loves to drink. And then go to the bathroom. And he's always yelling at me, "Oh, no. Maureen, you need to drink more. You're so dehydrated."
Geese.
And you can fill in later. On principle, I purposely stay dehydrated on travel days because I never know when there's gonna be a bathroom. So that's some context for me.
Also, important context is Southwest Terminal at LAX is the very first one. So if you get on flyaway bus from Southwest Terminal leaving, you're gonna be on that bus for about an hour before you even leave LAX. So please.
I always just go to a different terminal. Yeah.
Also, keep in mind, this is the man who bought 3 drinks as soon as we landed.
You got to stay hydrated, Geese. Do you know that
they didn't
water
give any drinks on the South?
Most important thing in your body next to air?
And I would have gone to the bathroom, but her bag came and there was a bus and we ran on. So
anyway, we get on the bus. I sit in a row. It's a normal row. And Michael's like, oh, let's sit in this row that has a bunch of space in front of it because it's for like wheelchair access. So we're in the seat where there's a bunch of leg room and it's the most exposed out of all the seats.
I'd say that's the best, but
it is a gamble.
Here's the problem.
Also, this is the first time I've ever seen the LA Flyaway bus completely full. I think we had to turn away people, right?
Yeah, people, by the time we got to Terminal 7, man was saying, get out of here. There's no space for you. And the funny thing was that there's so many people, Taylor, getting on the bus, all saying there's no seats, man. And there were so many people sitting in there refusing to give up the seat next to them. And the guys were just standing, staring at them, going, what? And finally
they probably had their backpacks in the seat
they had
next
so many
to
backpacks.
Them.
So yeah, as we're pulling out of even like the first stop, I said, "Oh man, I have to go pee."
Oh no!
Usually the journey from that point on is 30 minutes to Union Station.
Yeah.
However, bad traffic, and it's about doubled. As the journey progresses, Michael's condition worsens, and he's Googling, how do I stop myself from needing to go to the bathroom, all this stuff. It's an ordeal, and
never been more pain in my life, girls. It was rough.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this. Like, why doesn't the body, there should be something you can do to your body where it's like, hey, we're not in danger. You can chill out. Give me 15 minutes.
Yeah, we literally had this conversation, and I was thinking about the other day about the poor woman that died in that contest, Hold Your Wii for a Wii. Do you remember?
We all remember.
Don't
anyway, anyway, it's getting worse out there, guys. There's a bathroom in the back of the bus, but it's always locked and it says it's out of order. Michael goes up and the bus driver's like, hey, do you have the code? And the bus driver's like, no, right?
There's a padlock on it, and he says, I don't know the padlock code.
So at some point, we get to like, something's got to give. And so, like I've prepared in my mind thousands of times, I pull out, one, my giant microfiber towel that I have just in case I have to pee or poop and I need to shield myself. And two, one of several trash bags I have just in case I need to pee or poop into something else. And I give the plastic bag to Michael and I'm like, you gotta do what you gotta do. And I take out the towel like a great friend and I cover him in his shame while he proceeds to while he pees in the bag. Also, by the time he finally commits to doing it, we're 5 minutes away from Union Station, which is just adds to the humor of it all.
Geese, that is a thing. Because when you get close to a bath, I don't know what it is, but when you get close to a bathroom, your bladder's like, oh yeah, it's go time. All right, it's go time.
It was like 10 minutes, and I already was talking to the driver so many times just saying, it's an emergency. I really, really got to go. I'm so sorry, but it's...
So what kind of bag was that? Was this...
Oh, a huge trash bag. It worked great. I mean,
an actual bag. Okay.
Yeah, it didn't even make any noise. What a wonderful... More people should be doing this.
That we were talking Smart and Final plastic bag.
No, this is literally a fear of mine. I come prepared. I also had another plastic bag, another gallon-sized trash bag that he put that in, and then several more bags that he put it in.
Yeah, I mean, we're just, trying to make it look...
Do your part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did our part.
It worked out surprisingly well.
Yeah, it worked out great. Nobody knew. Threw the bag in the trash can as soon as we got off the bus. Worked great.
Also, it was so funny, too, because at the hotel in Vegas, they played this song only once. It's Lenny Kravitz, Get Away, or Fly Away, or whatever it's called.
Uh-huh.
And we were just singing, I want to get away. I want to fly
away. Yeah. Yeah.
So, altogether, a great way to end the trip. And fast forward a week, it's me, Geese Peep. I have come down with an illness. I'm at my sister's house. My mother has come to pick me up. In the drive home, I'm like, it's time to barf. And I pull out one of my restocked trash bags that I have. Really the MVP of my life and this month. So
yeah, could you not just Vombo out the car on the road?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
No, it was...
Shouts out to trash bags. Pee in them. Throw up in them. Do anything, really.
I do my part to poison the oceans. # Geese Peep.
Honestly, everyone should have trash bags on them at any time.
That is some unexpectedly good advice. And I think I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah.
Also, because I use them all the time. Because if it's raining, downpouring, and I'm on my travels, just put my backpack in a trash bag.
So sick.
I can't remember where I was, but it was basically a monsoon. So what I did was I poked eye holes into a trash bag, and I just covered myself with the trash bag and waded through the water.
Exactly.
I look like a little ghost.
A ghost for Halloween. Geese Peep, does that conclude your geese into the week? What's been peeping on you?
Yeah, I guess.
You don't want to talk about company retreat?
Yeah, I also went to Nashville for a company retreat. It was fine.
She had to poop in a bag in a limousine. All right, guys, let's move on. Time to move on to Watch and Play and Eaten of the Week. Taylor, start us off with your completely filled out Watch and Play and Eaten of the Week.
I have been watching a show that absolutely everybody needs to go watch now. It's called Blue Eye Samurai.
Everence. Oh, cool.
I still don't have Apple login. It's okay. So I've recently gotten Guncan into watching anime. We've been watching Mob Psycho 100, which is terrific. And we're about to start season 3, but you can't download that on Crunchyroll unless you have a Plus Mega subscription or something.
Oh my god!
So I download Blue Eye Samurai because it just looks so sick. It is some of the best art I have ever seen in an animated film. I don't know how they do it, but it's ridiculously good. The editing, the camera work, the choreography for the fights is outrageous. I hated the fact that English was the first language it was recorded in, but I totally got used to it, and all the voice actors kill it. Music, great. Story, great. Everything about it is just so good. Everybody go watch it. Very unexpected.
It's not Japanese?
Those weren't available to us. I downloaded it, and it had English set as the original language, and I tend to watch things in the original language. It's a bit jarring at first, but after about an episode, you get really used to it. And some of the voice acting is worth listening to in English.
I see. Did you eat anything this past week?
I have been eating so much, but there is one thing I need to talk about in particular.
Oh, no.
I'm currently recording in Bozeman, Montana. Now, Bozeman
Oh my gosh.
is great.
Wait, that's where my colleague lives.
I think I have family there.
Oh, my. We're all tied to this place?
That's crazy.
We went to a restaurant that I'm not going to name, but we ordered some food. And the bill came back, and at one point we substituted meatballs out. Chicken in. Was there an upcharge? Yes. Was the upcharge $16 for one chicken breast? Yes.
First of all, that's not a substitution. That's just let me give you the most expensive chicken breast I can find.
Even if it was organic, there's no option for a chicken to be that much unless it is a full-on other dish. Guncan got livid, and apparently the place is going to call us back because they shouldn't have charged us that much. I don't even know how they came to the conclusion that $16 was appropriate. Food, very good. The first time I came here was, I think, in 2020. And we were walking around Bozeman. It's a cute, picturesque little town. It looks like a postcard. I get why people love it. I get why people want to live here for part of the year. Everyone was calling it Bose Angeles. And I hate that because it just makes me kind of wince when I hear it. It's more expensive than Los Angeles. Every dish is more expensive. I had a $10 latte the other day. Our dinner every single night, we went to a sushi place and it was like $160. Every single dish is more expensive than the last.
Are they all like oil people or big giant farmers and they have giant ranches or something?
There are a lot of ranchers, yes. Fun fact, the parts of Yellowstone, the show about ranchers trying to defend their land from Californians, is filmed here. And the ranchers here hate all of the people from California because they don't respect their property and they film illegally and they break onto people's land. And I'm just watching clips from the show thinking, this is a little ironic that you guys are making this show about what you're doing. That's fun.
So sick.
Food's expensive here.
I'll get back to you next week to figure out my exact connections to Bozeman, Montana, but I've heard that name many, many times.
It's a sick place. We're going to go cross-country skiing in a couple days.
Oh, my God.
I've never done it.
I
But they have...
I can't wait for the story where you, like, break your shoulder or something.
I did tell... The girl that we're going with was talking to me about it, and I said, the last time I snowboarded, I broke my ankle and my hip.
Oh.
And she said, no, cross-country is way easier. And I said, I don't believe you.
Taylor,
we'll see how that goes.
You're going to die on the slopes.
How are you going to do that with your knees?
She said it's not a lot of twisting. So the only issues that I have currently are with each meniscus because I have stitches in them. So when I do the rotation required for treading water in water polo, it really aggravates it. This is going to be very straightforward, I think.
All right. Well, everybody, please send your hopes and prayers that Taylor survives his snowy trip at looklistencast@gmail.com. In my watch and play and eating of the week this week, I've been playing a lot of Brilliant Diamond Pokemon to get my shiny Manaphy. I'm hatching eggs, Taylor. It's so much faster than trying to catch these Pokemon. So I've hatched hundreds of eggs, got my female little Combee so I can get my Vespiquen. I'm getting so many Pokemon, but more importantly, Taylor, I did the Pokemon Go Tour, Los Angeles, Pasadena, Rose Bowl. I walked so much in that day. I don't know if I've ever walked that much in my entire life, but I'm just walking back and forth. I did so many black Kyurem and white Kyurem raids and didn't get one single shiny. I spent so much money on their little food trucks. Thank goodness for Geese Peep here for Venmoing me for my Pokemon coffee, because at first I was concerned, oh my God, there's no coffee in this entire giant event, because I'm not going to drink coffee beforehand and poop the ride to the Pasadena.
Yeah, you probably didn't even have enough trash bags.
Exactly. Taylor, the cold brew was pre-tip $14 for a little cold brew.
That sounds like some Montana pricing right there.
Bozeman, Montana. I was just laughing approaching the coffee stall because I know I needed the coffee. It was going to improve my big Pokemon adventure 1,000-fold. When I see $14, I'm already laughing. I go into shock just looking at the price, just going $14. And I just look at him and I say a cold brew, please. And then I wait a beat and I say, can you at least give me light ice? And then he says, yeah, light ice. And then he shows me the iPad with the tip option. And for a tip on $14, they're asking for
cold brew.
Yeah, for cold brew. The tip prices at that point basically are more expensive than what a cold brew should cost for the 30% tip. And
that's so funny.
I hit no tip. That's okay, guys. And
certain times it's very okay.
I was very sad about it. Good cold brew. Made the big giant raiding all day and catching a million pokes. And it was so cool, Taylor, because they have all these things set up. They have the spring soiree and the summer festival zone. They have a full giant Ferris wheel like from Pokemon Black and White. They have a cavern for the winter wonderlands. And you have to solve little puzzles in the Pokemon Go thing. It says if you can find this sick Pokemon, and you travel all around past the Rose Bowl Stadium to find a Pokestop to spin it to unlock this, and people are getting in line for pictures with Pikachu and Snivy and Oshawott and Tepig, and everybody's having a wonderful time.
How
and people
crowded
are
was it?
Oh my God, there's so many.
Was it really crowded?
Yes, there's people from
sick
all around the world. Every single raid, 20 immediately, every single one full. I can't believe. Oh, by the way, I told you the wrong price. It wasn't 60. It was only 30. I paid 60 because I bought the little add-on so I would get way more incubators because I needed a Sigilith. And I did another little bonus that I guess gave me more raid passes. But overall, I mean, I had a great time, but I can't believe I only walked out of there with 5 shinies. And I'm looking at people who are like, I only got 4 Shundo Black Kyurem with the Los Angeles background. And I'm just thinking, I guess my problem, Taylor, I think my problem was I was relying on my auto catcher. I think everybody else was just actually tapping because I probably encountered 1,000 shinies that my Pokeball just didn't catch them, because literally the odds there are boosted shiny rates. So I should have just been manually tapping, guys.
I heard online, some people complaining that the shiny rates weren't noticeable at all. I was so bummed that I couldn't do any of that event, and I was trying to remote into it. I got 2 Kyurem somehow from one of my friends. I don't exactly know how I did it.
You shouldn't have been able to, because it literally locks off. They make a big announcement when you walk to the Rose Bowl. It says, if you do not have the pass, so you have a medal in your inventory that says you are allowed to be here on this day. If you don't have that pass, Niantic blocks off that entire area and no Pokemon will spawn for you. So I don't know how you would have gotten in there. You probably had a global event thing.
Yeah, I think it had to have been some kind of a glitch because I didn't get the pass. I did buy 2 of the boxes that gave you a bundle of raids and remote raids in preparation for this week. I've been able to do a lot of raiding in person this week. My big problem is the 2 or 3 days that I really want to be doing raids, I'm going to be a rural player because we're going to Livingston. We're going on 20 acres in the mountains, and we're just going to be doing a bunch of snowmobiling and cross-country skiing.
Snowmobiling? Taylor, you're going to die.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Well, that was the Go Tour. Highly recommend it. You saw all your favorite celebrities here. The #1 ranked Pokemon Go player in the world. God, he talks fast. Yo Schiller, the guy who's friends with Safazon and Kathy Cat. Everybody knows him. He used to wear a Yoshi hat, but he doesn't anymore. That's weird, huh?
Was our boy? Was John Terraby there?
Joe Sarabi that day was actually at the Pokemon. There's another big event that exact same day, which is the Pokemon European Championships, and he was doing a meet and greet, and he was so happy, and everybody's talking to him, and everybody loved him.
That's awesome.
Also, for eating this week, I tried the new Taco Bell birthday churro. It's terrible. Don't eat it. Geese Peep, it's your turn for Watch and Play and Eating of the Week. Take it away.
I finally started Severance Season 2. It's
no
good.
Spoilers.
I need to watch the rest of the episodes. But
Spoilers, Geese.
I have to be in a particular mindset and mood to watch Severance because I have extreme anxiety, and it's kind of an anxiety-inducing show.
She couldn't even get through
thriller.
She couldn't even.
Series is perfect for you.
She could not even get through the first episode without going too anxiety, and we had to stop and just watch Man instead.
If it makes you feel better, Gun Can used to be like that, and immersion therapy is the best thing you can do.
That's what I'm saying. She had to cancel her AMC A-list because every movie I wanted to see, she said, no, too scary, too thrilling.
No, that's not why I canceled it. I canceled it because I only use it when I come visit you, and it's like $30 a month.
I thought we could cancel it immediately, and one day we'll right this wrong from AMC.
Anyway, speaking of AMC A-list, we watched Paddington in Peru, and it was okay. It was an enjoyable experience.
Everybody loved it.
And then we went
Paddington.
And then we went to Marmalade Cafe after in celebration
to eat some marmalade. I had to tell that well, we sat down. I didn't see marmalade on the menu, so before we ordered anything, I said, "Ma'am, you have marmalade, right?" And she said, "We have strawberry and orange jelly." And I said, "Yes."
It was called Marmalade Cafe, and they don't. She just said strawberry and orange jelly.
That's what orange jelly is, Taylor. It's marmalade.
I know, but she didn't even use the word marmalade.
Yeah, well, I don't think most people realize what they're walking into. That's more of a British thing. Marmalade and biscuits. You know, Taylor.
Yeah, but if you work at that cafe, you should know the thing.
Well, yeah, that's why she said, yes, we have strawberry jelly and orange.
Yeah, the nomenclature is rubbing me the wrong way. Give them a one star out of 5.
No, Taylor.
Bad parking situation. They don't know what marmalade is.
Taylor, you know, if you do a 1-star in Japan, they're going to hunt you down and put a bounty on your head in the restaurants. Anyway, Geese Peep, you were saying? You were in the middle of your goofing of the week.
Paddington in Peru, it was good. Olivia Colman was the best part of the movie.
She always is.
That's true. I agree.
Every single thing she's in, I just keep thinking, what a good actor. How are you just... I never feel like she's acting, no matter what the role is.
Also, we haven't mentioned yet, but when we were in Vegas, we saw the Sphere show, the Sphere Experience. That was cool.
Formula One?
No, it was soaring over California, except it's the world.
Right,
you remember,
right.
Taylor? I was talking about.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you mentioned last week, but I was really disappointed with the lack of sphere-shaped food items that they were selling. So I feel like they could have really made a big profit selling sphere puffs or sphere snow cones.
Dippin' Dots.
Instead, they just had waffle fries and good pretzel. But the man told me, because I asked him, now hold on a minute, because it was a reasonable price. So I was afraid they were just going to give me some rolled gold pretzels. So he said, hold on a minute. Is this a soft pretzel or is this a hard pretzel we're working with? And he said, it's in the middle. And I said, in the middle? What do you mean in the middle? It's a soft pretzel. It was a delicious soft pretzel. I don't know what on God's earth he was talking about in the middle. There's no such thing as in the middle. There's a hard pretzel, like a rolled gold in a bag, and there's soft pretzels. There's a soft pretzel.
Maybe he means like an unbaked one.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck, what soft pretzel he's thinking of. Maybe he doesn't realize those are two things. Okay, guys. Geese Peep, did you have more to say before we move on to Pokémon News? Pokémon News of the Week. He's not done, Taylor. So.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
The fancy place that we ate for Michael's dinner was some place he wanted to eat for a while, It's called Javier's. It's in the Aria, and it was okay.
Yeah, wouldn't go again.
The flan was the best part.
Taylor doesn't like flan?
Not a big fan. I also think that I just must have not had good flan before.
I mean, this is the best flan in the world, so it's a good flan.
It's rated number 1.
I'm sure.
Earth in Vegas?
Come on, that's where they put the best stuff. What,
no,
you never
been
to
the cafe in Bruges or something?
You never been to the Wynn Buffet, my favorite buffet in the world? Such a good buffet.
I have.
Also, where the company retreat was, it was like this like WeWork area, and it was like really bougie. And they had this water machine that you could do customized flavors, and you could add caffeine and vitamin boost, and you could have it sparkling or light sparkling or hot. And
Whoa.
I was just going ham wild. I was doing sparkling with blood orange, vitamin C, like 2 times caffeine. It was wild.
Ham wild.
That's crazy.
She was going ham wild.
And she doesn't even like drinking. She loves being dehydrated.
Exactly.
She also ate a bunch of acai bowls and Whataburger and little guys. Guys, it's time for Poké News.
Poké News of the week. Casey, you sounded like one of those recovered transmissions that the space crew hears and has to go investigate.
First of all, how dare you?
It's not. I don't think you designed the sound system.
All right, guys, let's keep the podcast moving. We got everybody. Okay. Here's the big Poké News of the week, guys. In less than 24 hours, we're gonna get big Pokemon. It's Pokemon Day in Japan already as we record this, so it's gonna be Pokemon Day in the United States in about 13 hours, and that means we're gonna get a big giant Pokemon Presents. So we're putting it in post, guys. You're gonna hear me. We're gonna come back. You're gonna hear me on a little WhatsApp audio recording tell you all the big Pokemon news. So here is that. Okay, we actually got less news, fewer big announcements that I might have thought, but we did get the sick Pokemon Legends ZA trailer with the starters Chikorita, Totodile, and Tepig, since Cyndaquil was already in Legends Arceus, so he doesn't get to go again. New episodes of Pokemon Concierge, those are coming soon. Also, Taylor's very excited that you can now dodge it in Legends ZA. That'll be exciting. We got this is all from Cerebi, of course. We got new binders and display boards coming to TCG Pocket. Oh my goodness, Triumphant Light, the Arceus set, it's officially revealed. Look at all these cards. Also, big Horizons news in a Pokemon podcast about Horizons, the Pokemon anime. Look at this. I'm looking at is this spoilers? Maybe. I'm looking at a video, March 14th, 2025. Is that a shiny Lucario Mega Evolving for Pokemon Horizons? Are you kidding me? Also, I guess big news is they're releasing a game called Pokemon Champions. So if you like battling, you can play that. This is a very quick fire Poké News of the week. Oh, look at all these news. You can move Pokemon from home, go everywhere to Pokemon Champions. That'll probably be fun. Tons of new Terror Raid, mass outbreaks coming to Scarlet Violet. Oh my god, a code for a new Rotom phone case. And probably lots more, but games that we don't really play anymore, like Pokemon Sleep and Unite and Masters EX. But yep, that's Poké News of the week. Back to the episode. All right, Taylor, we're back from the big Pokemon news. Can you believe they're re-releasing Pokemon Emerald just for you?
Oh, that's so sick.
And it's online. And we're going to have a great time. Then the Pokemon MMO for the Wii's coming out.
The thing is, I'm actually thinking I might finish Pokemon Violet.
You should.
I may wait for the Switch 2 to come out to play Legends Arceus and Legends Zarceus.
Yeah, Legends Arceus A. That's maybe an idea. That's maybe a good idea. The way they do it, they make sure that all the announcements are on the same day. So to do that, they have it 6 a.m. Pacific time and like 11-something p.m. Japan time. And it's still Pokemon Day in both places.
Anyway, my favorite Pokemon news this week was that I got a immersive guy on my Pocket game.
All right, let's move on to discussing an episode of Pokemon. Taylor, please tell us what happened last time on Pokes.
Previously on Pokemon. The gang, for some reason, leaves Area 0 immediately after catching Rayquaza and being able to fly all around.
Did they catch him? I don't know.
They did catch him.
I mean, he got into the Pokeball.
Get in the Pokeball.
And now he doesn't have angry aura.
Geesebeep, could you please tell us the name of this week's episode, number 83 of Horizons, in English?
The Truth Revealed, Amethio's Resolve.
Or in Japanese, 明かされる真実、アメジオの決意. Geesebeep, can you please give us a one-sentence synopsis about this episode, please? Pretty please.
I am who I am. I am Amethio.
I am Amethio. Guys, this episode, you guys watched.
I have a quick question before we start. Is this the last episode of the previous series or the first episode of a new series?
It's not a new series because there's no new theme songs or anything.
Oh, that's good. Okay. I was worried that the episode where they caught Rayquaza and they were like, off to Raqua, or how do you say it?
Laqua.
Off to Laqua was just going to be the end of the series, and I was going to be very disappointed.
I thought that too. It seemed like an ending point for the search for Laqua, or Rayquaza Rising. But we're still in Rayquaza Rising as far as I know. Taylor, I'm going to give you the biggest spoilers of the world. I've seen the next few episodes. You're on the precipice of greatness, of losing your... You can't miss the next few episodes because you're going to lose your mind over what's in store for our little heroes.
Oh, I love losing my mind.
Guys, I don't know. I haven't started discussing this episode yet, so I'm jumping the gun a little bit. I don't know at all how I'm going to review this episode because even little comments of people watching this, were torn. There's people saying they loved it. Some people saying it's the most boring episode they've ever seen. How do I feel? I guess we're going to find out as we go along, huh, guys?
Oh, okay. Spoiler alert. I'm certainly in one camp of people.
Uh-oh. All right,
wow.
Geese Peep, we open on the Explorers for the first time almost ever. We never open with the Explorers. We're always hanging out with the Rising Bolt Tacklers. They're giving their status updates, Geese Peep, on the Rising Volt Tacklers to Gibeon. Oh my God. They collected all the medallions. They awakened the sleeping giant, and they're on their way to Laqua. All the stars are here in the Ava room. Spinal, you're going to ambush them.
If this is... I can't remember if immediately after this, there's a scene of a synopsis of the previous episode, but when this was the opening and it was the Explorers relaying the information that had happened in the previous several episodes to Gibeon, I was sitting there losing it. I was thinking, what a good way to do a previously on Pokemon. This is so creative. It's not forced. It's not Liko monologuing just randomly to the audience.
And then they immediately just give a previously on Pokemon using the same footage.
It was flying high and falling fast. That was my first few minutes.
I don't know the budget on this one, but I'll tell you, it reuses a lot of footage, and it's a lot of just standing in a room talking, doing a couple lip flaps. But did you guys see Butler Hamburgers he does this thing a couple times in this episode where he just looks through his little hair guy. And it looks ridiculous.
It's weird.
It makes me very uncomfortable.
It's something that happens a lot in anime. And actually, in Taylor's Anime Minute of the Week, this kind of thing happens constantly in Blue Eye. God, Blue Eye Samurai is so sick. Every scene, there's Blue Eye Samurai looking above his hat or underneath the little brim, and you're always just thinking, this is overdone and cheesy, but it looks so sick.
Anyway, Butler Hamburgers does that little move when Coral and Sidian are discussing Amethio, because Amethio is not with the crew. Remember, he was taken off the missions. We then cut to Exceed. Did you see the Bidoof and the Furfrou outside, Taylor?
I know I saw Bidoof.
There's a Furfrou. Maybe there was a Lillipup. And we see Amethio's goons disguised for some reason as we walk past a scientist inside of Exceed and her Flaffy.
I love the difference in lackeys because all of Spinal's lackeys are just so malicious and evil, and Amethio's lackeys are so charming and innocent.
Yeah, I really like them.
Spoilers. I think Spinal hypnotizes, brainwashes some of his guys. For audio listeners, Geese Peep was nodding her head yes earlier when Taylor was talking. Geese Peep, we're going to infiltrate Spinal's lab with his upside-down triangle pupils. Time for a theme song. We're back from the theme song. We get...
Very confusing. Not only is it they could have done what Taylor suggested, which do the recap as part of the scene before, but it's also really weirdly edited and placed in the episode.
Yeah, they just wanted to hook us with the little explorers.
I just don't know how it made it all the way through the production process and nobody said, oh, whoa, that's incredibly sick. Just have that be the recap. Because it furthers the plot. It's such a good way of doing a recap.
I think the show is just for children. We got to deal with that. And
I think I have a problem digesting that whenever I'm watching it because we're watching the Japanese version. When you watch the American version of this show, they really let you know it's for kids.
Yeah. Well, I have a theory. I'm jumping ahead to it, but guys, listen to me. One of the main reasons we're watching this show is how sick it was that they introduced a new legendary Pokemon before we heard anything about it in the games. Terapagos was introduced in the anime way before it came out in the games. I have a theory that Laqua is going to be in Legends ZA. Just a theory.
I would assume so.
That'd be so sick.
I was actually really surprised with how much this episode was... You're going to have to tell me if this normally happens when the series is airing when the games are coming out, but they're transitioning from Scarlet and Violet, and that's heavily tied into the show, to, it seems like, Legends ZA.
Yeah, that's how it always works. You want to time it so it comes out around the time the next games come out.
Very sick.
So yeah, now we're in the middle of what Taylor brought up earlier, which is a Liko narration, where it's just, hey guys, remember last week? I'm not going to go over what happens in the flashback. If you want, you can listen to the episode we published 2 weeks ago where we go over the episode. We're still flying to Laqua, and evidently Fritos is aware that the explorers are on their tail. That makes sense. They're always showing up. I think, do you guys remember if they ever noticed that they were hanging out in Area Zero? I guess not.
I don't think they did.
I mean, they were barely in it.
So Rising Voltacklers at this point, they're discussing Laqua for a while. Why do they call it Eternal Blessing? I'm so confused. And they're interrupted, Geese Peep, by...
Mousehold with some donuts.
Yum, yum, yum. All the Pokemon get to eat some donuts. And Captain Pikachu, Geese Peep, absolutely adorable.
Scorfs them down. Also, it's wild. The...
Pokemon?
Yes, it's wild. It's wild that they just out of seemingly nowhere just talk through like several huge secrets. You know, I was thinking, why do they... I feel like those reveals could have been better paced and revealed instead of just talking through them.
Can you give an example? I don't know what you're talking about because you didn't say anything.
Molly was like, I bet the Eternal Blessing has to do with cells. I'm like, based on what, Molly?
She's a doctor. She knows her stuff. You think Molly, the science genius, doesn't have some Laqua theories?
She has no samples. She has no proof or like examples of why this would be the case. And then also they're like now just deciding, oh yeah, Gibeon is the same Gibeon. Yeah. All in the same boring conversation. Meanwhile, we get cuts to the Pokemon eating donuts, and there's like happy music in the background. It's so odd.
It was a very disjointed scene. I wish that she had at least come out and said, I've been analyzing some of the samples of the land you've brought, of Rayquaza, of Terapagos, anything, saying I've been analyzing this and I've come up with some conjecture.
Nah, she just did a vibe check, Geese Peep. I mean, look, clearly Laqua is activating the cells, the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cells. Look, I mean, come on. Just like Zygarde, guys. Zygarde's made of cells. Are we kidding me? Look, I have the presentation ready for you guys. Look.
So I'm thinking that plot team was on vacation the past few episodes, and they just didn't get a chance to tell the people making the show, this should be in here. You should put this cell thing, you should put that in this episode. And instead they were just like, yeah, and then Roy's going to get confused and think it's a different magneton.
It's just like they do this in anime a lot, and they did in the 999 Virtue's Last Reward, where it's just a big science explanation. Taylor, it's
exposition dump.
Taylor, you remember just like how Roy and Crocodile are always getting beat up, and then they get healed because they're new cells, guys, like a balloon being filled with too much air. You kidding me?
That was one of the more forced bits of humor I've seen on the show.
What, saying how they always get beat up and
yeah.
Stabs.
And then Roy saying, I never know when to stop, or whatever he says.
Yeah. Well, Molly, my hat's off to you. That's quite the theory that you've come up with based off of nothing.
On the fly.
Geese Peep, the plants. Don't you remember the plants in Laqua? They came back to life.
Yeah, that definitely connects to cells and like eternal youth, for sure.
Clearly, that's how Gibeon stays alive, and Lucius. And about 17 minutes into this conversation, I write, man, we got a lot of talking and explaining in this episode. Show don't tell, am I right? Guys, what are we doing?
The only showing they ever want to do is somebody eating something or a weird battle.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you what they show. They'll show a flashback of an episode we just watched so they don't have to pay to animate it again. And they just put that little filter on it. Ooh, look, this happened in the past.
Anyway, they're talking about their theories and whatever. And Frito's like, what if we encounter something really dangerous? Like, guys, what's the game plan?
This conversation comes out of absolutely nowhere.
And talk about highs and then massive lows. I'm like, finally, some planning. I love to see the adults acting like adults. And then they see the kids not worrying about anything. And they're like, you know what? Actually, let's not overthink anything. Let's just wing it. And I'm like, what?
These are two people that come from academia. One of them a nurse. So this nurse has probably seen some stuff. And they're just like, oh, wait, the kids aren't worried. Oh, we'll let that assuage our worry. That's how life works.
Juxtaposoli,
my new pizzeria.
Juxtaposoli, they were literally just talking about how they had to seal away this power. It's super dangerous. But you know what? They'll just wing it.
They felt completely comfortable going into Area Zero. The area you have to get very special permission to enter via battling.
I think Fritos realized he's in a children's cartoon, so he says, the kids aren't worried. We'll be fine. And big apologies to anybody who likes this episode. I think Shiny Sylveon may like this episode. I don't think the scores are going to be very high. I don't know. Gambate!
I completely understand why this episode's divisive, because if you take out all of the kind of minutia, all of the individual conversations, and you look at the broader scope of the episode, it's very good. It furthers the plot in several different areas.
All right.
Just the conversations are goofball.
Well, then we cut to Amethio in Spinal's lab with his little flunkies. Oh my god, look at all this Loquium data. Poor Umbreon. Umbreon got hit with the beta Loquium? You're telling me poor Umbreon was put into danger? Oh my god, what is this beta Loquium sphere? But Taylor, we're interrupted by a bunch of little guards with their very normal, reasonable Pokemon, Bisharp, Watchog, and Orbeetle. And then we just cut to Amethio and goons thrown into a building warehouse by the dock next to Exceed City. And Taylor?
Oh,
Taylor?
I thought they just closed the door on them.
No, they were in a lab and then they were taken to a warehouse outside where only Spinal would know about it and not Amethio's dad and the rest of Exceed. Taylor, I refuse to believe that the Cerulege that held his own against Shiny Rayquaza couldn't beat 3 random little guys.
Have you seen the eyes on Watchog?
I didn't hear Taylor because I was in the middle of
talking. Have you seen
one of which was weak to fire?
Have you seen the eyes on Watchog? Very scary.
You think he used a move to just paralyze him and then he couldn't move?
I think Cerulege just got scared, shaking in its little boots.
Here's what I hope. I hope that Amethio let himself get captured and it's all part of his master plan? Because otherwise, this is the biggest plot hole in the world, 0 out of 10.
I'll tell you one thing. I guarantee whoever made this episode is also thinking that, because they clearly needed to get everybody into a warehouse that's off to the side, and they didn't know how to do it. If they did know how to do it, they would have shown it. But instead, they were just like, and now you're in a warehouse.
They love putting Amethio in a warehouse by the dock. Then we cut to Spinal and Chelsea talking to Gibeon. This is like a Pokemon. Gibeon. They're going on about Rayquaza keeping his body alive for hundreds of years, if not forever, Taylor. Oh, my God. His dream of Laqua, Geese Peep, it will be fulfilled. And we cut back to Amethio.
Was that an owl noise?
The cronies are nervous. They're pacing around. The guards stole their Pokemon, so what on earth are we going to do? The three of them discuss how Spinal is behind this, but not Exceed, clearly. Taylor, the gate begins to open. Who? What?
For what purpose is what I was saying. Why did any of this happen?
Who's behind that gate?
It's Butler Hamburgers.
Oh, look, he has all their Pokeballs. Oh, look, you guys remember all these Pokemon? Skarmory, Rhydon, Golduck, Skarmory again, Ceruledge, Corviknight. Oh, my God. Butler Hamburgers then does that eye, look through his hair, twitch guy again. Still hate it. Still not a fan. Oh, my God, guys. You're telling me we learn here that Spinal is going to betray Gibeon, says Amethio?
I do kind of want to know how he came to that conclusion, because when he starts explaining his rationale, it doesn't make any sense.
No, not a lot makes sense in this episode. But Amethio's had enough. He needs answers now, Geese Peep. What's Laqua? What's Lucius and Grandpa's relationship? I must know who I am.
We gotta go to a secondary location to learn all that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, time for a commercial break, and we cut Geese Peep. Is this bigger than Lily's house?
I was about to say, it definitely is.
Amethio lives in the biggest mansion manor you've ever seen in your life, and I guess that's what happens when you live for hundreds of years and you can just keep that wealth going.
I mean, yeah, he also has an evil organization with an Evangelion room.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, my God.
And he has a butler.
Oh, my God. There's these 6 Sirfetch'd guarding the giant doors. His cronies, Taylor, they're too nervous to come in, but Amethio invites them in anyway. I want you to hear this, too.
There's a sick painting of what looks like our friend Kyle. That's actually Amethio's mother, that we learn died when Amethio was very young from a traffic accident.
But save your condolences.
He was young at the time. He doesn't. I just got to say, the Explorers logo looks so much like Team Plasma logo. It's insane. It's almost identical. Come on, from Unova. Did you see, Geese Peep, all the adorable little Chinchinos sweeping up the mansion?
Very cute. Do you think they're friends with the Chinchino that Dad has?
Yes. I thought you were going to say, do you think they're happy? And I was going to say, yes. They're so rich. There's also a Scavalier guarding a door. Taylor, you remember from Community Day? Very sick.
Mm-hmm.
Geese Peep, they're so rich. It's like the Venetian in Las Vegas.
I think the house is really ugly. And it looks like a stale hotel conference area.
Oh, okay, guys.
I watched a whole video on how hyper wealthy people don't have any sense of decorating taste.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh, here's a stuffed tiger in my kitchen.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I was laughing at the flunky saying hello to Escavalier, which you just said hi. That was funny.
Hey, guys.
It was a very weird vibe, but I like the flunkies.
Yeah, they were the best part of this episode.
Yeah, they're great. All right, now we're finally in the Room of Rumors, where you get even more exposition. Indeedy, please serve us some tea and little treats and cakes. Even the Pokemon get a feast. All right, guys. It's buckle up, as Geese Peep likes to say. Get your coffee, because it's time for a lore dump from Butler Hamburgers, and this is coming straight out of Gibeon's mouth. And Taylor, it's all stuff we already know. So as long as you've been watching the show, you're good. We're fine.
They do one very interesting thing here where they kind of show how, nobody's a villain in their minds. So we saw the point of view of Lucius where everybody was saying, I can't believe he was betrayed by Gibeon. From this perspective, Gibeon was betrayed by Lucius. And it's interesting that we get to see generations removed from that, furthering the quest based on a little misunderstanding between the two of them.
Just like real history.
Yeah, because Butler Hamburglar says that he says that Lucius was the one that told what's the guy's name? Zygarde to steal it. But in the flashback that we watched, the Zygarde did it on its own account.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we see the history of Lucius, Gibeon, Ristal, Laqua. We see some Laquen footage. There's a Wooloo, I think, a Stantler, maybe a Fearow, a Butterfree, a Meganium, a Torterra. Anyway, as we're all aware, Lucius and Gibeon argued over the Laqwim. Shiny Zygarde sealed away the Laqwim. Lost a bunch of cells because apparently Lucius and Rayquaza told him to.
I have a bit of a question here. What is Gibeon's motivation for getting new cells? I remember somebody asking that, saying, but very strangely saying, but clearly since Gibeon is still alive, they just say casually, doesn't that mean that they already have Laqwim? And I couldn't come up with an answer as to why Gibeon needs more.
Because it's a resource. He's used most of it. He needs more.
Oh, okay.
Staying alive. I would say that betrayed is a strong word, Hamburgers, but you keep saying that he betrayed him, sure.
I mean, 100 years later, it tastes like betrayal.
Guys, look, here's a cool diagram of how Zygarde works, and I even have one in my pocket. It's me, Butler Hamburgers. This guy loves me.
I got so excited when I saw that darn Zygarde cell.
Taylor loves Zygarde cells. He's always going on routes and never getting any.
It's, shouts out to Niantic and your terrible customer support. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, they're great for me. Every time I go to Echo Park with Geese Peep, I do the route, and I get a Zygarde cell. So that's cool. Look, Taylor, Zygarde cell likes him. They're best friends.
It was very Deus Ex Machina kind of thing going on where Molly and Butler Hamburgers are both just randomly bringing up Zygarde, a Pokemon that nobody's talked about until now.
Yeah.
Cells within cells.
Butler Hamburgers then repeats more things we already know, and I write, this may be a tough episode to score. So, apparently back in the day, Gibeon escaped with some Laqwim to stay alive, and he founded Exceed to research more Laqwim. It was a big success. Oh my god, look at all these cute Pokemon in the presentation on this. There's Litleo, Ralts, Pachirisu, Larvitar, Poliwag, Petalil. There's a funny line in here, which was, Gibeon endured 100 years of loneliness. Amusing sentence. What, he could never find a date? I don't understand. What, is he like afraid to get close to somebody because he's living forever? I don't know. Oh my god, Taylor, then Dusknoir shows up out of nowhere, and Hamburg explains how Gibeon helped him when he was adventuring or something. It was
really funny how scared everybody got when Dusknoir appeared.
Yeah, he's a spooky, scary skeleton ghost man. I don't understand. They didn't give enough detail. I don't know what Hamburgers is trying to say how Gibeon helped him. But we learned that Hamburgers trained all of the explorers on how to battle and whatnot, except for Spinal, because Spinal came from Exceed as a researcher.
Thus, Spinal must be about to betray Gibeon. Trust me.
Clearly. And we gotta stop him. And then, Geese Peep, we get the camera zooming in on a little framed picture. And who is in the picture as a baby?
Amethio.
He's a baby, and he's playing with his mom and a little Wingull and baby Ceruledge when he was a little Charcadet, Taylor.
It was adorable.
Well, guys, that's it. I've looked at my baby pictures. Clearly, Spinal's going to betray Grandpa. That's it. I'm going Laqua
and everything's
right now.
Everything's based on Zygarde.
Yep, the vibes.
And at some point, they cut to Amethio's goons, and the lady's like, "Wow, this is a lot heavier than I thought," which was very funny.
That actually made me laugh quite a bit.
Guys, lackeys, flunkies, it's time to go to Laqua. We're saving Grandpa, and here we, for what I'm sure is the first time, in the history of this series, learned the names of the lackeys. The lackeys. Their names are Onia and Zerk.
I really like how this episode is a continuation of the point that they're really trying to drive across, that Amethio treats his lackeys as equal partners. I really like that because that's something like rare within this series, and also just in general, I'm a big fan of that.
Normally, I've talked about this before. Normally, villains have lackeys that they just view as disposable, and I've always hated that. There was one thing that, or one intellectual property that did a really, really good job of showing something, and that was the new G.I. Joe movies. All of the villains treat their subordinates well.
Oh.
And you look at like Cobra Commander
in
these movies, and they're not great films by any stretch of the imagination. But when you look at how those henchmen treat Cobra Commander and how he treats them, and how they're all like, "It's good to have you back, sir. Thank you. I'm so glad you're back. So happy you're safe." And they're so enthusiastic. And I was just cheering watching this, because how are you going to have an evil empire if you view everybody as disposable? You want it. It would function like a cult where everybody worships you and they love you, not that they're all afraid of you.
Yeah. All right, so Onia, Zerk, Amethio, we're all going to Laqua with all our Pokemon. Well, guys, here's the thing. Rising Volt Tacklers, they're going to get to Laqua real soon, so... Also,
Butler Hamburglar's like, also, by the way, Liko is the descendant of Lucius.
And everybody just took it in stride, and they were like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, no, Amethio was like, yeah, I figured that out. Probably. I already knew that, so you're not telling me anything. So.
It's just so funny that, like, that should be a massive point of shock for everybody. And then Gibeon being immortal should also be up there with surprises for these people. And they're just like, yep.
No, Amethio just felt the vibes. He was like, yeah, I could tell. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, good luck, guys, to Laqua.
Were you two laughing as much as I was when everybody said, well, we better go to Laqua, as if it hasn't been the biggest mystery in the world? Like, imagine in Indiana Jones, where he's like, okay, well, let's go to the Ark of the Covenant, I guess.
Yeah, let's go.
It's about time.
The name of the season in English. Search for Laqua. Then we get a sick camera pan to Laqua at the field of pink Laquium, sparkling green. And we cut to shiny Rayquaza. He's screaming, "We're here, Rising Volt Tacklers!" Or are we? I don't know.
It's going to be so exciting when they find out it's just a field of flowers.
Is this Laqua? Is this giant floating avatar land? Is this Laqua? No, it's Kumuri Town? What? I'm confused. Is it not Laqua? Are we at Laqua, guys? Is this not Laqua?
I think there's a gym badge we should be earning here.
Terrapago seems excited, so I guess we're doing okay. Rayquaza's flying up higher. Guys, Fritos, command everybody. I need Oreos to max blast the ship and fly to the top of the mountain. And Geese people, what does Oreo say in response to this?
No, that will destroy the ship.
All right, cool. So the ship will explode if we get to that high of an altitude. So, all right. Now, what I'm about to say is going to make sense to everyone. I don't think anybody will have any questions. I don't think anybody in the audience will be confused. I don't think any of the three of us will be confused. They say, okay, we'll land first, and then we'll go up.
Oh, okay. Totally different.
So...
I think they mean they'll land and then go up by foot.
They'll land? Okay. To be continued. Great. Fun episode. Good times. We're good. We landed. Geese Pete, before we discuss this episode, you want to take us through Frito's Seminar of the Week, please? With Dusk Noir? Dusk Noir, the big ghost?
Very scary ghost.
He's spooky.
The grasping Pokemon.
Oh,
Dusk
my God.
Noir. Yeah, I don't know why the that's a strong word.
He grabs you with his mitts.
Dusk Noir, no! Not your mitts!
Noir. Oh my gosh. Dusk Noir is said to suck up wandering souls and take them to the world beyond. But do you know which body part it uses to suck the souls? Is it A, its eye, B, its hands, or C, its belly?
C, its belly!
Yes, its belly. It swallows a targeted foe whole with the mouth on its belly, and it's said to suck out just the soul and then spit out the leftover body before departing.
They have to change this for the American release with the free use child music. Like, they have to change these seminars.
They don't put the seminars in English. So that's how they change it, but not doing it.
When you said that just now, my mind was viewing the entire episode in English with the goofball children's music, and then the seminar still being in Japanese.
Geese Beep, you were saying the animation?
The animation is, so we see Dusk Noir being menacing behind Crocolore, and it looks
sorry,
like
I'm so sorry. We need to take 3 because instead of the word menacing, you said menacing.
Just say menacing. I can't say either. Okay, it's impossible. New word. New word.
Take 3.
Spooky. You spooky.
We see Dusk Noir looming behind
It's fine. We'll get it in post.
In one job. Take 5.
Looming behind Crocolore. Looks like he's about to suck his soul. And Captain Pikachu was like, no! But it turns out he was just gonna grub on some berries with Crocolore. So it's okay.
Oh, guys. It was just some berries. He wasn't gonna eat Crocolore's soul, guys. A score, huh? A score for this episode. Yeah, so... Wow. It's a lot of talking. Just a lot of standing there and yapping. A lot of yapping of stuff we already knew, which...
Big reveals...
I'm not a fan.
Big reveals with misplaced reactions to how those reveals are. Like
big reveal to who? To them or to us?
To them.
To them.
Oh.
The reactions are very disjointed because lackeys were shocked when Dusk Noir, Hamburger's Pokemon, was in the room, took it in stride whenever it turns out Lico's related to 2 of the... What did they call them?
The Explorers, the originals.
Okay, they were the Explorers. To the Explorers, just related to both of them. So
the founding members.
Gibeon's immortal? Yeah, sure.
The arguing back and forth on this episode was very funny because people were talking about how great it is, and then another person said, wow, 20 minutes of just nonstop talking. The old Pokemon anime could never. And then somebody saying, yeah, because it was so great when Pikachu just beat Team Rocket every time. And it was some fun arguing back and forth.
I have zero, as a big Succession fan and Mad Men fan, I have no problems watching a show where everybody's just standing in a room talking the entire time.
Yeah, I like cool talking. That's always good in show that is good. I did not like this episode. I thought it was boring, and we just said a lot of the same things, and I feel like nothing happened. And that's sad to say, because I do like Amethio and everybody's favorite new characters that we know their names, Zerk and Onia. So, and it was fun to see baby Amethio in the picture. Can I get a score from Geese Peep? And did Geese Peep even say how she feels about this episode? So also some words as well.
Not yet.
I feel the same. The only part I liked was the continuation of Amethio treating his goons as equal partners in his endeavor. It was the pacing of the reveals felt really weird. It felt like when we first started the show, it felt like it took forever to get anywhere, to get any kind of reveals. And now they're just throwing reveals left and right. So
one thing,
I don't know.
That scene where Rayquaza was screaming at the ship and everybody was screaming at Rayquaza, I did think to myself, wow, this is such a different show. Can you imagine the original Pokemon anime if there was a shiny legendary just hanging out with Ash, Brock, and Misty? Can you imagine?
They didn't even have shinies.
Not when it started, no.
They'd be losing it.
What's your score, Geese? Peep?
7 out of 10.
7.0. Taylor, what is your score?
I actually think that's pretty fair. This episode just feels like a well-done filet mignon. It's a very, very good ingredient. You have a lot of opportunities for characters to be surprised. You're furthering the plot across the board. Like, every piece of the show is taking a step forward in their place in the plot. But they're just doing it so clumsily. And it's just, I don't know, it's really missing a lot. I love the fact that they had that opportunity for a really cool previously on Pokemon permutation, but they kind of whiffed that with the summary immediately afterwards. A lot of wasted time in this episode. I have no problem with people talking. The way they got to certain conclusions felt real wonky and unnatural. We've said it time and again. The reactions were not great. I want to give this episode a very high score because it does so much to further the plot, but it just doesn't do it in a great way. I'm going to say, I'll give it a 7.2.
7.2.
Because it's fine.
I don't know what to give it. I mean, I'm going to be somewhere in the 6s or the 5s.
I was thinking about the 6s.
Okay, let me go. I'll go 6.2. I don't like the episode, but I don't want to give it a 5 because they tried something new. There were some good ideas there, and cute baby Amethio. And it was kind of interesting. He's just like, yeah, my mom died. So 6.5, actually. 6.5.
Yeah, I would give it a lower score if they weren't actually furthering the plot. They do so much so the people who made this episode are wasting the viewer's time, but they aren't wasting the character's time.
Yeah. So I don't recommend this episode, but luckily there's an episode coming up that I'm sure Taylor is going to give it 10 out of 10. All right, time to move on to the question. Taylor, can you please read us this week's question from Shiny Sylveon with the subject line, finally, 3 question marks. Exclamation points from Shiny Sylveon.
All right, Shiny Sylveon asks, short question this week. If money was no object and you could go anywhere in the world that you haven't been to already, where would you go? I'd go to Australia. I really want to take one of those helicopter tours over the Great Barrier Reef. Now, is that a premise for a terrifying shark horror movie? Probably, so be careful with that. Although it'd be so sick. P.S. Oh my Arceus. That's funny. Pokemon, what have you done to my poor boy Amethio? This episode was great, but the lore... At least baby Amethio was adorable.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. It sounds like Shiny Sylveon liked the episode. Sorry we didn't like it, but, differing minds can agree.
I completely...
can agree.
Put that on a shirt.
That's not the phrase.
I don't think it was a bad episode by any stretch. I just wish that they had done it differently. I would never tell somebody, oh, you can skip this episode, because you have every group moving closer and closer towards their goals. They were just a little goofy in how they got there.
We have a question and answer. Geese Pete, please go ahead.
I would say I would want to go to a really fancy resort in Costa Rica because I want to see the birds and go snorkeling and have a great tropical time.
Ooh. Taylor?
I almost went here a few years ago I have a few different places that I want to go. I want to go to Papua New Guinea and Antarctica and Fiji.
I'll go to Fiji with you.
Okay. It's mainly for diving. So I had this at the start of the pandemic. I had already put a down payment on my ticket to secure my place on a Russian research vessel to take us diving in Antarctica. But I've wanted to go scuba diving in a glacier for such a long time. And pandemic happened and all the tickets got canceled.
No.
It's supposed to be such a cool journey, too.
You should go to Greenland and see some Greenland sharks.
Those are just ridiculously rare.
Oh, no. They'll find like a shiny.
Or going to Galapagos would also be really cool.
Ooh.
I think just to see where all of these theories that we just accept now on evolution and things really hit their stride would be very cool.
On the Origin of Species, Taylor would write On the Origin of Species 2 by Taylor. Shiny Sylveon, I agree. I also am interested in seeing Australia, maybe little Sydney. I want to go to the big IMAX they have. Although I don't even know.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I like how that's the first thing. Yeah, I want to go to the IMAX they have.
Wait, isn't the number one biggest screen still at that horse track?
I'm not aware. I don't know. But also, lately I've been wanting to go to Northern England a lot. I want to go to a sleepy little Northern English town, and I'm going to eat a bunch of fish and chips and curry with the lads.
Oh, you could call it would it be a burg or would it be a village?
I'll probably go to Manchester. Actually, that's a big city. That's not a sleepy English town, but there's probably a way from Manchester to get to a sleepy little village as well. But yeah.
Oh, you could take a carriage.
I took a bus tour of sleepy villages in England, and it was beautiful.
Ooh, yeah, I want to go do that. So I'd be okay with, big time. I know you asked for 17 and not 1, but I'd also want to go to Munich. I want to go to Christmas markets. I want to see the Glockenspiel. I'd be fine going to Madrid. I'd be into that.
I've never been. I
really want to go there too.
I can speak Espanol con lisp, and the Spanish can understand me because they speak with such a lisp.
Isn't that more of the Barcelona, not the Catalan?
I think they'll stick with the lisp.
No,
I used to date a girl who was from Spain, and she had a slight lisp and everything.
Well, there you go. So that's my answer to your question, Shiny Sylveon. I'm sorry, my voice is giving out. We're all sick over here. I think it's time to go to the wrap-up, please.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. You can find us at Look, Listen, Cast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Please like and comment so more people can find us. Also, thank you to Keith for our work. You can find him at twitch.tv/KeithSquared.
Thank you, Professor Ticklebits, for the boilerplate.
And the website. Please recommend this podcast to your friends. There's no swear words, so even the grandmas and the nephews and the nieces can listen. Also, please send your questions, much like Shiny Sylveon, to looklistencast@gmail.com. Geese Peep, did you say where you wanted to travel? Costa Rica, yes. It's time to say goodbye. For the birds. It's time to say goodbye, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Was I a fan of the Pokemon episode? Not too much, but maybe next week will be sick, huh? Guys?
Probably very sick. Probably. I'll certainly maybe be on it, depending on how injured I get cross-country skiing.
All right, goodbye. Okay, goodbye, everybody. 3 times.
Goodbye.
5 times.
6 times now.
Well, goodbye.
Howdy, y'all. It's me, Geese Peep. Thank you for listening to the Geese Peep Productions podcast.
Geese Peep Enterprises, doing business as Peep Industries, together with its subsidiaries, is a diversified worldwide entertainment company with operations in media networks, talent management, parks and resorts, multimedia entertainment, and consumer products and interactive media. Geese Peep Enterprises is a Dow 30 company